Hello everybody and welcome to our list video here during Seeker Week, which is our wish list for the Seeker class. These are just some things that we want to see in Seekers in the future, and maybe, like our Guardian one, they will start coming true almost immediately.
They did. I said I wanted a thing, and apparently it's happening.
It happened like the next day. Actually, like the day before the video came
like
out.
for this video.
Oh, yeah, it is actually true. Yeah,
Yes.
there was one, I was like, oh, that exists. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna exist, doesn't it now?
So these are just some little things here. We're going to kind of fire through them, talk about them, discuss them, and they're going to go like they're broader than just what we have on the screen. This is just to keep it easy for you to digest. Our first one here is another skill-focused investigator, and just also more skill support and like focus for the Seeker class.
Yeah, because the one we've got right now is like unplayably bad with only twos. Like you have to throw your hand to do anything. So, like, give us one that actually does something.
It's pretty awful. Yeah, there's like lots of. I mean, we have two of them right now, kind of. I mean, it's like not specifically skill focused, but there's quite a few Seeker cards that like kind of care about skills, but they don't. There's not enough to like build around them.
What do you mean you don't build your deck around practice makes perfect every time?
No, okay, that's not me building around skills. That's me building around practice makes perfect.
Which
different.
is in turn as like around skills.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's great. This is a good segue into I would like to see more practice skills printed, especially if we could get like maybe something like discovers an extra clue at a different name. Maybe like a strong arm.
Yeah, you want like another deduction. And you could take a horror to redraw the token.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
No more serious. Like cards that are like maybe like they have kind of bad effects when you play them, but they give you an effect when you commit them.
Yeah. That actually would be very interesting. Like asset, like because events and skills are basically the same thing, right? Like a skill is kind of just like an event, right? But it would be interesting for like an asset that is. It kind of like scales into the late game where like if you draw it early you're going to get more value, but if you draw it later and you commit it as a skill, it still does something.
Yeah, like assets that are below rate for the effect, but like if you commit it, it also does like something relating to the effect.
Yeah.
Like a fingerprint kit that costs one more, but if you could commit as a deduction, for example, maybe with like a caveat that you have to succeed by two or more, but only gives you one book symbol. Yeah. Sort of thing.
I think that stuff would be really, really interesting. I also like think that would actually fit for like a new type of. Like, it's like another thing for skill support. I also want more practice skills because I enjoy playing Practice Makes Perfect, but I would love like another new keyword, a new trait that they can also explore that kind of is like a new style of skill as well.
I think the work that'd be really neat is like a Seeker investigator who could play like innate cards or a survivor who could play practice cards.
Yeah.
And get access to like a lot of the skill stuff on that side.
Definitely. Yeah. Because there's a lot of like pieces that they got, and it'd just be cool to see another investigator that like cares about it, because those are like my favorite investigators. So that would just make me a little bit happy.
This is
like,
what we want, and you're one of
us. Who was our last skill-based investigator anyway? It's like it couldn't have been Silas, right?
I mean, Silas and Mana are in the same pack.
Yeah.
I think it might have been.
Wow.
There's another Henlock, right?
No, and it depends on whether you count like Alessandra Zorzi as like skill based, because she can play skills that have the word parley in reminder text on them.
It almost made the cut for me, but I looked into my soul and I was like, no, I don't think she's skill based, but I did consider it for a few. Next up, we got providing more support, Seeker support.
Yeah, that's a good good card you made there.
So we could have we messed this one up. We could have called this one supporting more support Seeker.
Supporting. Yeah, I really should have
support Seeker support.
Support for more support Seeker support. Yeah. So these are the cards that are kind of just like
Old Book of Lore.
Yeah. Well, so this actually is something you guys don't know this because the video isn't recorded yet, but during Seeker Week,
How do you know it?
Because I know
YouTube
everything.
Is really weird, Travis.
I actually even haven't recorded it yet, but we did. I did a video where the idea is for the Seeker class and how like there's support cards that you just like don't use on other people because you're just more efficient if you use it on yourself, and that's kind of like the conundrum of the Seeker class, right? For like designing support, Seeker support, but like. if they just made it kind of like, I think like we started to see pieces of it with like the upgraded guidance, right? Where it's just like, I mean, like, I understand you play that in like Carson Sinclair, but like that's kind of more one of those things where like the value is now falling more on your allies, and I think we push it more like that way. Where like even if like they did upgrade Old Book of Lore, but you couldn't use like the cost reduction on yourself, right? Like kind of like focusing more on like that kind of thing.
The other things that have like better effects if you use them for other people. Like
Yes.
an investigator at your location draws 2 cards. If you choose another investigator, they draw 3.
Yeah. Yeah, or like, I mean, I was gonna say, like, so this is the problem when talking about the Seeker class, because I was gonna say, like, going back to your thing where it's like that asset that you can, like, commit and it does something.
Yeah.
What if it was, like, if you commit it to another investigator and they succeed, they get a clue, but then you just have Seekers bullying other people to run it in their decks? It's like, oh, you're done it? You might as well run 2 copies of that deduction asset for me.
I'm investigating, so I mean, like, you're kind of griefing us if you don't, really.
And it is kind of the issue with, like, Seekers as a whole, but I think, like, stuff like that is like I would love to see more of that, because I think a support Seeker can be very powerful, and other classes are catching up, or like in my opinion like Rogue starting to overclass Seekers. So I think that's what's going to help Seeker support as well if other classes continue to catch up to the Seeker class.
Yeah, you're right. They have to be better at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind if supporting other, like, if I had to pick a class that was going to support other investigators, it would be either Guardian or Seeker.
Yep, 100%.
Like, in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of cool stuff, and I'd love to see more of it. There's also one thing you
What they
talked
should
about,
be good at.
like an ally investigator too, that's built around.
Oh
it,
yeah,
right?
like, cause like if you would draw a card, you can instead have an investigator, a different investigator at your location draw a card, or
That
something like
seems
that.
pretty. That actually seems pretty cool. Like, because what I love about stuff like that is it changes like the scope of cards. Like even preposterous sketches. We were just talking about how it's not playable, right? But even just having like an extra draw 3 for a person in your deck might change how you look at the card, right? Like, I would love to see something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
All right, continuing this on with our next one here with Seekers with more trait-based deck building.
Yeah. A lot of Seekers are 5.
looking at you, Kate Winthrop,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ursula.
and like also
Ursula,
Ursula,
yeah.
where it's kind of like, so what is the one card you can play out of your color? Yeah, cool. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
those two, like Rex is effectively Seekers or the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like what his cycle does. They're just like, I am
Yeah.
colored 0 to 5 with
Still
like,
So I mean, like Harvey is 2.
Yeah.
That is what he does. Yeah.
yeah.
You might be making an argument for Monterey Jack being Seekers or the 5 effectively.
He really is. Yeah. And I mean, like, even like you
The
might be
Rogue Level
saying,
sure doesn't add much to
we
it.
were just talking, just saying Ursula's, she's trait based. She's really like not. They haven't given like a relic that's like, there's like, they get like, she gets like 1 every 4 years that's not in the Seeker class already.
I mean, like
same
the
with
trouble
Kate.
is they're
Yeah.
mostly
Like-
they're mostly weapons,
Yeah.
and
They're mostly weapons or like level 5, right? And
Yeah.
she can't do those
and
ones.
she doesn't get level 5 because then she'd get the armor of Ardennis and like have a viable niche.
Yeah.
That's too good, Brin.
Yeah.
Brin's sitting here all of a sudden. I wish this Seeker was better.
Yeah.
I wish that Seeker was better.
Yeah. Yeah. And also because, like, it just seems like one of those things that other classes are getting a lot more trait-based deck building. Like, even, like, I mean, I know Kate, once again, Kate has science and insight. Insight's cool. Like, there's some stuff you can do
There are
there.
a handful of insights,
Yeah.
but they are primarily yellow again.
Yep. And science is, like,
is yellow.
yeah, yellow or, like, so tiny in the card pool. They need to print more support to, like, actually make
Yeah.
it interesting.
Yeah.
The only like relevant one out of color that I can actually think of is that attached to pick up the treacheries and locations thing or whatever.
The survival technique.
Yeah, survival technique.
Yeah, because that's like an archetype. They need to be like, I feel like for every investigator that's like kind of floating with a trait, they need to have like an archetype like an archetype building card that's not in their class.
Yeah, they did a really good job with like Wilson Richards, for example.
Yes.
But I remember looking at the science cards when we were talking about Kate, and I was like, oh, let's see what kind of stuff she can play. I'm like, it's first aid
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
and emergency aid,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally it.
Yeah.
It was like nice. Thanks.
Yeah, and also like going again, like the whole like a seeker that plays innate would be really cool, rather than just seeing like another survivor that plays innate. Like I think that would be going back to that one too. On echo that's a good idea. All right, next one we got here, which is a combat seeker that focuses on reducing difficulty. Notably, this is not a test at 0, but this is an investigator that, as you said, kind of has like shit stats, but uses cards like Exposed Weakness or scientific anatomical diagrams to
Yeah.
do things. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe have
you
them
need good numbers to make those cards do things.
kind of.
Probably, yeah.
'Cause
You're
you
probably
have to,
right.
You gotta be able to pass.
I guess
Not
that is true.
anatomical
'Cause
diagrams.
not, yeah, that one just does it. But like
Yeah.
for Exposed Weakness, yeah,
Yeah.
that card might honestly be past past
like-
working. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's got a shot anymore.
I already forgot that one has a book test on it. That's how forgetful that card is for me.
Yeah, maybe they could print something like super convoluted. So your Vesker has like 3 punch or something base, and you give them 1 book because they need to be garbage at that, or else you're just gonna play secret cards. And then their ability is like when you do a test, if the difficulty is lower than its printed difficulty, you get plus X to your stat, where X is the amount that is
The
lowered
difference,
by.
yeah.
So you effectively like double the boost out of it.
I do like that. I think there's something
It'd be like
cooking
a little
there.
bit of a headache to do, but
Yeah.
So you're gonna play Daryl, right? Flex Daryl,
yeah,
because I need you to do a thing.
Yeah.
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 Make them more please. That'd be like a neat another survivor, seeker, investigator, maybe.
Yep. I mean, it would be a good evil version of Daryl, right? Which is like they care more about the fighting side than the investigating side. Yeah.
Yeah, or you could give them access to some of the seeker stuff that lowers, or some of the survivor stuff that lowers difficulty, but somehow exclude. I don't know what the traits are off the top of my head, but exclude like the succeed tested 0 cards
Yeah.
specifically.
Basically, we just got to get rid of Shadowlight. Like
Yeah.
that's the bad one.
Yeah, if they have access to like the punch one, that's probably not the end of the world.
No, because that card honestly would you'd
pretty
love to
mean.
see it played outside of Daryl for sure. Yeah. Next up, we got more weird enemy management events, specifically like events and not assets, because I like that. I mean, I do like a cult lexicon. I actually really enjoy that. I think it's powerful, but I think the flavor of it works very well for the Seeker class.
Yeah, as
right?
much as I like laugh, but like make fun of it being just testless damage and doing everything. It really does do everything, but apart from the damage, everything it does is Seeker, and
Yeah.
even then, discarding cards for damage is a Seeker thing.
Yeah,
So
and you have to discard cards and pay for it. So I think like it's very efficient, but I think it also is like pretty reasonable, right?
yeah, I don't think it's like too good or anything, but
And then but when it's like the acidic ichor or what did you call it? Viscous blow, viscous blow,
yeah, this
or
is
the myconids that like eats enemies. I don't like it on assets, but I like Transmogrify, even though I think it's personally a little bit strong for a level 0 card. And I like the existential riddle where you ask what is Gug, and then the Gug goes, what am I?
this guy-
Like,
What is God?
and I love that like events that like leave the enemies on the board. I think that's a really good like Seeker enemy management that I want them to explore more in the
like
future.
Days of Rock.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like that one because it also as well like
I think that one's really cool too, but it unfortunately does often leave the enemies on the board.
yeah. But yeah, like it's like that risk where like you're like even like the I've got a plan, right? Like it can hit really high, but if you draw the autofail and kill Brin with it, right? Like you also have lost the event and the enemy's still there. And I
And
like
you've
that kind
lost Brin,
and you I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
but the enemy's still there.
But like it's one of those things that I like that kind of like the event based. It feels so much more fitting for the Seeker class, and I'd love to see more of that.
Yeah,
No more assets. No more on assets. Just leave that be.
Blood Rage isn't an asset.
It's strange because it's like it is, but it isn't, right? Like you have to unlock it, and then it's like the asset's doing the damage, but then you're like, it's not really until you get to level 3 version.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. All right, next one we got here, which is Seeker with 3 book. Why no Seeker with 3 book? We have Fighter with 3 fist. Why no Seeker 3 book?
It's because the natural stat line for that is 3 is across the board, and that's bad, and we're not allowed to have that in Seeker.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, you can't be bad.
Because when we were
Except
pulling,
Amanda. But
well,
she
she has
doesn't have
2s.
three.
Yeah,
She
she
Three's
doesn't have
across the
3.
board. That's good.
Yeah.
3's across the board.
When we were flipping through, we were like, Vincent Lee, no, unfortunately, he has 4 book and 3 fists. I would love him to be the inverse. I think it would be really cool for him to be the inverse. And honestly, this kind of just like, I mean, I know we have a 4 fist Seeker in Joe Diamond, but he's also like Guardian. He's like Roland Banks. He's kind of like living the
You
world
could
like
tell
that.
he's Guardian because he's like weak enough that he might just die.
Yeah, yeah. He's not busted.
Yeah.
But like I would love to see, because you've seen in other classes where they just are like, I'm that weird one, and like the weird one is Amanda, and unfortunately she's a little
So
bit too
good.
weird. Yeah, yeah, she's a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, why can't you be more like Preston?
Yeah.
He's still like really good, but
Because I think with a Seeker with 3 book, like you could make the ability pretty good to like, or like the signature pretty good, right? And just like they have to just work a little bit harder to get there, or like maybe they're just like, I don't know. The problem is the Seeker class is like so defined as I get clues, right? It's hard to like picture outside
they have
of that.
other things too.
They do, but like it usually all just comes down to
They
like
get
getting
cards.
clues.
They
That's
get
true.
clues.
All rivers flow back into the sea of clue
I
getting.
mean, you got it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of it's some of the Guardian class where they fight enemies. That's what
Yeah,
they do.
It's true.
Yeah, except when they don't.
Yeah, except when they don't. Sorry, Brent.
So there's like at least 2 of them that are like not very good at that.
It's true. It is true, and like
And
yeah.
also like Roland. So
There's
like
a-
3 who are like not great at that.
There's a couple of Seekers who aren't good at getting clues.
Sorry, I'll wait.
Well, you know that Matt is bad.
Yeah, she's like got to be misprinted or something.
We already said that Joe Diamond is like more of a Guardian. Guardians don't get clues very well, so that's
Guardians get clues like pretty good. They're like, I'll play this investigate, and then by investigate I mean beat this man to death, and then
See the
Split
cards?
things out of
Yeah.
his bits.
Ursula's bad. That's 3. Who's the other one we have
Sorry,
on our list of bad? Kate Winthrop. She's like okay. I
Yeah,
guess.
Kate Winthrop though, like pretty good.
She is pretty good.
She loves the sniffer. She does, yeah.
She does love the sniffer.
Yeah, she's.
Anyway, that's like
pretty
3.5 Seekers that kind of suck at getting clues.
But they're also still like,
So like Ursula doesn't suck. At getting clues, but, like,
just like
okay.
no, shut up. You're not part of this. That's
I'm not arguing with you.
Man, wouldn't it be crazy if we start calling it intellect, like it's written in the rule
No.
book? It's so many syllables.
That would be
It's
crazy.
too-
That's why, like book, fist, what are the-
Foot, brain.
brain, 1 syllable on each of them. That's why.
I do,
It's
like, I'm not going to change it now, but I do wish we called it head instead of brain.
yeah,
Just because there's also brain
What
damage.
if we called it Brian instead of Brain?
that would be good.
That's worse.
Could you imagine? Like, people already hate that we call it book. If we just called it Brian. All right, let's see what's next. We got for Seeker to Taboo another rogue card. This hasn't happened in a while, and I want it to happen
Let's
again.
go.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
nostalgic. If there's one card you would like to see tabooed because of Seeker
Fucking
cards,
kill Money Talks or something. Like that card's only cool.
I
part
want
of
to
the
hear what you say first.
archetype payoff.
So I want them to kill. Okay, 2 cards. One of these 2 cards that are so defining to the rogue class and such rogue like identity at this point that it would honestly just be like a tragedy, which would make it the most ironic.
Yep.
But well connected or Lola Santiago. Just kill one of those would be like. Could you imagine?
That would be like actually kind of horrible.
Like well connected especially like just
It would be
what?
fun. I would like to see a Seeker who can abuse Lucky Cigarette Case 3. Because that would be that would be something.
I mean, I've said often
Yeah,
that
that's the trait based one.
Yeah.
I've said
Just have to
often
take
that Lucky
charms or whatever.
Yeah, that Lucky Sig 3 is the strongest card in the game. It's insanely powerful.
Give me,
and,
give me a Seeker permanent, call it Specialized Learner or something like that, and so you can put, it's like variable experience amount, and then you get to put a card from any class into your deck equal to half the amount of experience you pay. So you can pay 6 experience to put Lucky Cigarette Case 3 into your Mandy deck.
So yeah, that's something that Brin and I have been talking about doing, building like a deck where I play Mandy and he plays like Skids to just give me good shit that I can't play and just see what I can do with it.
See if we can't break it.
Yeah. But like that would be like that would immediately be like, I'm sorry, we have to kill.
We're gonna taboo everything that isn't yellow.
Yeah.
They for that guy, they're like, nah, it's into the
And
trash.
yeah, this is it's like one of those things where like the reality with like these rogue, anytime rogue has been like tabooed, I mean I could be wrong, but just like from what I'm thinking about it, most of the time it's like they're enabling, they're getting rid of the payoff, not the enabler, right? Like they're punishing like for like Necronomicon's sins, sleight of hand had to be adjusted, right?
It makes more sense to like get rid of a niche card like sleight of hand than to
Like a green card.
forbid
I got it.
the big splashy card from your new set.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think
people
like
are going to be really excited to play with the Necronomicon because it's cool, but
Yeah.
and like there are going to be some people who are excited to play with Sleight of Hand, but not to the same degree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the belief that it's probably, I prefer if they get rid of like the enabler, because like the
Yeah.
so no, if they get rid of the payoff, if they get rid of the payoff, because I mean like they did taboo like Necronomicon, but the thing is like with the way Arkham works and like the way Sleight of Hand is written, it needed to have a cap on it, right? So like that's not a great example because like it has like a ceiling that could go, and I think you could still do a lot of things with Sleight of Hand.
Yeah, there's like the similar issue with Double or Nothing.
But like I see like 3 aces, which I think is a very powerful card, right? But I think that like that getting removed from the game because of Mandy is a little bit like
Yeah,
like,
it's not just Mandy.
yeah. But still, it's like one of those things that like I think like.
It's also
But I mean,
That
like
card's also a
it's
problem.
like one of those things. Yeah, I think Lucky. But again, in this point, rather than 3 aces, I think Lucky Cigarette Case should probably get hit first.
Yeah.
To be like a max of like I don't know 3, maybe like 4 or 5 at the most. Like
Max number is like twice the amount you succeed, or it's like half the amount you
succeed,
succeed by
yeah.
round down,
Yeah.
something like that.
Honestly, with the science archetype, we got to do more math when we play. Let's just start throwing math equations on all the cards.
It's not hard.
It's not hard, and it makes your brain smarter.
It does.
All right.
yeah, but I'm gonna get it wrong.
we would never correct you.
Like quick math, you know, like what's 2 + 7? 62.
Well, see, that's
Well,
why.
obviously, you're doing our own math. You'll be like, "This is my answer."
Well,
We're like,
that's
man.
why I want the math because it's perfect for micro cheats. You know, you're like, oh, sorry, I did the math wrong.
I did
rounded
that
up.
wrong.
But that was like 5 turns ago. We
Like,
can't.
you can't go
We
back.
can't go back.
That's how you look so good at Arkham.
Man, eventually people are going to be like, are these motherfuckers actually cheating? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, joking about would be an
Sometimes.
excellent way to cover it up.
Yes, it would. All right. Next up, we got more random-based card effects.
Yeah, like shrewd analysis and gaze of Urach.
And written in the stars, the
Yeah,
dog in the sky.
The dog in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so secret cards are like strong enough that you can afford to have random chance factor into them because, like for example, shrewd analysis. A lot of the times the cards you're upgrading into are like strong enough or general enough that they don't have to. It doesn't really matter which one you get.
Yeah.
But Travis, doesn't the game normally apply random chance to your effects?
Like what when you auto fail a test? Is that
Yeah,
yeah?
sure.
Or like you mean like the cards you draw in your deck because that's not random for seekers.
Yeah, no, it's not random for anybody. You just put them in the order you want.
Really easy to do.
Yeah, I forgot you told me to do that.
It's actually not that tough. That's why I never draw my third slit top.
Gotta keep the joke going. You're like,
'Cause it's funny.
Yeah, you're just like palming it onto the bottom every
It's just
time.
like, oh no.
I also, I think that like the random stuff's fun. When we were putting this together, I like the random stuff because a player who enjoys the idea of taking the randomness out of it as they can enjoys doing that. But the people who just want to spin the wheel can also do that.
Yeah.
And I'd also love to see like a card with this that like merges it with the science archetype, which is just like reveal a random token. The effect happens, and like it then uses like if you succeed by exactly this or do exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah, like an event you can play during or after token.
An
before
event you can
tokens
play to
revealed during
create
the
a
test.
nested token draw.
And if you have to reveal an additional token, but if you like double the effect of any science shit that happens.
You just want
No, I don't want.
Yeah, like
double.
that's
I
they already did that.
specifically
They already
signed
did
stuff,
that.
so like you can't. I was like,
I mean-
what if I just commit a bunch of deductions? It has to have some kind of limit. If I like dump a bunch of deductions into that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, on the plus side, double or nothing wasn't because of yellow cards.
It's true.
Yep.
That was
Either
just
was all in.
Because it's fundamentally broken.
It is just
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like
just by the way the rules work.
Yep.
Yep.
it's just kind of good.
All right.
Does Janae count as being tabooed because of yellow cards?
Yeah, I mean, so
She
like
is a
she's
yellow
tabooed
card.
because of yellow cards, but the yellow card she's tabooed because of is Janae Beauregard. So.
Yeah, so
I
the
guess.
the Seeker one stabbed the rogue for half of her. Yeah, she's like Two-Face from Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
More Brin. This one's Brin's addition to the list.
Oh,
More
yeah.
Seeker cards tabooed.
This color's just too good at doing things. Somebody's got to slow it down.
Like it's too good doing things. Like just
Yeah, like actually
all
pick
of them.
one. Pick anything. Like it's too good at doing anything. Although it would be really funny if they like came out and tabooed like
magnifying glass.
no, like
hand
expose
sauce.
weakness to be worse.
Yeah. Brin's to the monkey fuck.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you wake up, Brin. They made all the
weakness
they
cost
made,
3.
Or they made all the bad cards like really good. Yeah. Dr. Charles Ross, Esquire, he doesn't take up an ally slot. He's free, he's fast, he reduces Seeker cards cost by 4 as a lightning bolt effect. Brin's like, no!
Yep.
I mean,
I mean that is the way it's gonna go. They're gonna taboo stuff to be better and not Seeker cards to be worse. Because like,
I do think like the acidic, the viscous blow, the acidic ichor change was good to just be now like in the. It should have been like that from the get go, like just have a way for them to attack things at 6.
It's been
but-
so long. You have some other options. I don't think it really mattered. but-
Exactly right, but like if
Yeah.
like, it's at least like more, just like more of like that, especially the stuff that doesn't feel Seeker.
I think like the only part I don't like about that is that it makes the like choose a random thing work kind of wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, so what if I'm buying a 4/1? Can I only get a 4/1 or like
What?
5/1 or whatever?
It doesn't cost more. It just only does one damage, +1 damage instead of +2.
Well, then why is it not good?
It's not that it's not good. It's just worse.
Yeah.
I
it
don't
wasn't
read
good.
I mean, in all fairness, that does actually work that way because they just did the Myconids, the damage and the enemy one and the treachery one are now +1 experience. So like, I guess the
No,
question
because
is,
you only
how,
get one in your deck.
Like,
oh, that is true.
Yeah,
You don't
you-
need to. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Wow.
you can't resolve that, but like, I don't know.
Can I still choose to and then just randomly roll?
I would allow it.
All right. But I have to pay the extra experience if I get the other one, the big one, right?
No.
No, if you choose randomly, you can just pay your 4 experience up front. I'd be fine with that.
That seems pretty.
Yeah, but then you gotta roll. You gotta roll with all of them.
Yeah, you have to.
You just get one at random.
No. Yeah.
Brin, do you have any cards in mind that you would like to see tabooed? Or is it just
Just like all of
it's
them.
just like a
I'd
spite,
like all of
I
them to
don't know, I
cost
see
one
yellow
more
cards, I
XP.
get angry.
Yeah.
So you gotta build your deck out of neutral cards, and then you can upgrade into yellow cards.
Nightmare. That's still probably pretty okay.
No, I just like would like to see them. I don't know, take a bite out of a yellow card before ruining somebody else's card for its problem.
Yeah.
One time. One time.
Maybe they'll print something that's like way too good with charges. We can get Red Clock 5 tabooed. It's part of the as a way to generate free charges.
I mean, it is the thing that's like pretty spooky in that combo. Get an additional 2 actions every turn. Also use your Pendant of the Queen every turn. Like, that's a little bit problematic.
I mean, you know,
That one to the grinder.
I think like 10 like if cards cost more 8 or more XP, it's kind of like, is this broken? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter. Like, how much did you pay to put this in your deck? Like, like if the Necronomicon or the Prophesy Profana cost 8 or 10, then it's kind of like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you got 8 or 10 XP without upgrading your deck. Great. Good job.
Necronomicon costs 8.
Yeah, sure.
it didn't at first, though.
It didn't though.
No, it
first,
didn't
yeah.
at first, yeah.
Yeah.
But like if it did, it would have been fine, I think.
If it was just exceptional, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have
Like,
to list
hey,
all that
you know,
space.
wild,
Yeah.
crazy thought. What if, instead of putting limit 1 per deck on yellow cards, we just start using the fucking keyword that means that?
That's part of
That's
Super-
crazy.
That's part
That's
of
crazy.
Rogue's color pipe.
Yeah, they're already stealing everything else. Who cares?
No, we can't take that one. It's,
Just like, no, we want to leave that to the rogue and also Mystic class because they use it too technically.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they should have some in common.
Yeah, exactly,
They don't
right?
have
You
much
know?
much
Yeah.
overlap between the two of them. They should have
Yeah,
some.
just like, hey, what if we use the
The word that does the
word
thing.
that means that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like,
Just once.
like
just,
again,
just once.
yeah, like just one time.
Yeah.
I just like one time.
Limit 1 per deck.
Yeah.
To be fair, Prophesy isn't.
You're not making it better. You're not making it better.
So this is actually kind of funny because it's the less limit 1 researched cards. This is notably the Myconid and then the Archive of Conduits. Because it kind of just defeats the fun part of research cards, which is you can play shoot analysis to upgrade into them randomly, and you can just roll the dice.
Yeah.
Well, it's also fun, like doing them in the game, having a side quest, and also being able to like pick which one you upgrade.
Yes,
Like, there's other fun things about them. It's
Yeah.
not just spin the wheel, but
But it's like that's the thing that I
there's a big plus for them.
and I mean like I'm pretty sure it's because of card counts because both like
Just give yellow one less different
Like for
card.
printing them.
Yeah, no, I know, but like you just like print one.
I
Less,
agree. Yeah, I agree. Right, like
Run one less yellow card in the box, and then you've got 2 extra slots on the print sheet.
yeah.
Or just like print one less Tekalili or whatever.
Well, they're in different boxes.
Yeah.
No, you know what? We cut a rogue card.
Okay. Yeah,
you know,
yeah. make a
Actually,
road card limit 1.
I wouldn't mind seeing like the unidentified and like the identified translated whatever versions of cards come in the campaign box, because that would bring back the fun part of them that
Oh.
used to exist.
Yeah,
Of,
you
like,
get
you see
you get the level
one
0.
and you're like, what could this do?
You get the level 0 and the player
then you
card
find out
expansion.
later.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. When you
It was very fun when as Cynic Icar we were because like if you don't know, I mean you might hear this during the history week, but we had like we just saw a Cynic Icar and you're like, what does it mean? Identify the solution. Like what does
The
that
strange
mean?
solution.
It could be anything.
What could-
Yeah.
what- yeah,
And then
what
it
does
was
that do?
damage.
Yeah, and
and
they
then
were
2
like,
other
it's
ones.
good.
Yeah,
That's what it does.
yeah. It's just
damage.
yeah. How much more do we got? Is this? Oh, more cards that attach or care about locations and shroud on those
Yeah.
locations.
And
That kind of stuff.
map the area is really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple of them, and we like all of them
Yep.
that I can remember.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I'm also having a fun time. So in our Dog Dreamers, my Kate deck is using the survival technique to pick stuff up. It's a very fun. It's a very fun gameplay loop. Like being able to play a shortcut to have someone move out and then pick it up and then I go too. You know, like that's a very fun loop to have.
If they put that on the investigator
Yep.
a little bit, it would probably, especially if there's they're gonna make it its own archetype.
Mm-hmm.
That'd probably be important to make it not feel bad for those scenarios that have the locations come in at play,
Yeah.
and like the Dream Years one and
And even just more stuff that
the
like
other ones.
because like map the area and breach the door came out and we were like pretty soft on them when we were first talking about them, but then in gameplay they're actually like really fun to resolve and things that just like, I mean those just reduce test difficulty, but like there's like a new card coming out in Drowned City that you attach it to an enemy and all players get +1 fight while fighting it, and then someone may use a reaction to Vicious Blow and discard that card. I would love something like that that's just like for deduction. You know, like it just like you get +1 book and then you can just like grab an extra clue.
It's just another deduction.
That, we like more
I
deductions.
do like more deduction, but this.
but like that kind of stuff, like
5 years from now, we're gonna be like, why is my yellow deck only deductions?
because you want to win the game.
Because you want to win the game.
But like kind of like stuff like that, like the things that like attach to things, like even just like if we had this enemy support, like for example, anatomical diagrams instead of being an event was like weaker, but you could attach it to an enemy and like reduce their difficulty.
Or
right?
the other one that we thought was level 0 but isn't.
Expose weakness, yeah.
Expose weakness. Yeah, if that attached to an enemy, that would be
Like
pretty
a
reasonable.
breach the door, but attached to an enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
attached to non-elite enemy.
yeah, always.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
always.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
And start playing Breach the Guy.
yeah. Breach the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be okay if it like had counters on it or something.
Yep.
And then like if it was elite, it just had half the value.
Yep. Or even like if it was like elite, like you removed a turn, or like if even like it was just
Yeah.
like it's like a stunning solution where you like pour the liquid on them and then like you have to remove a resource from it each turn. I think that would be kind of cool.
That might be neat too. Yeah.
Just weird enemy management would be really cool, but also like location management. Like I love like a freezing thing that like enemy. It's like kind of like like barricade
traps
the kind of
kinda.
thing. Yeah, or like you can like make your location like safer, but like the shroud becomes lower, but like no one can leave. Like
See,
you're
that
just,
would,
like-
that would be a good multicolored card. Is like some kind of trap that like freezes a guy for like a survivor.
And then it
Seeker
hits him
card?
in the head with an
Yeah.
iron that's tied to a thing.
Yeah.
Because it can be both of them.
Yeah.
Which they're hybrid. They're not multicolor.
All right, I think we might be done, and Russ is scratching the door. So
Well, it sucks to be him.
that's it. That's our wish list for the Seeker class. That was a good video.
There's a lot,
That was
yeah.
a good video. I enjoyed that one.
Especially since we started, we all just kind of sat here like, huh?
Yeah. What do we want? We got some good discussion out of it. What are some of yours that you want for the Seeker class? Let me know down in the comments. Seeker week is not done yet. We still have tomorrow our random deck build, which we're going to be recording the gameplay of it today, but it's going to be coming out in 2 days for them on YouTube.
I'm not gonna be here in 2 days
You will be in YouTube though.
or tomorrow.
I actually always have you trapped in YouTube. Anytime I want, I can go be like, "There's Travis." I have him in my YouTube.
Is this like
page.
every time? Every time I come to record, the camera steals a little bit of my soul.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you for the next one. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.